All right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to come on here and record a story in its entirety to give context to the happenings because people come in at a portion of the story and don't realize their part. And for accountability purposes, you want to pass blame and feel like someone cursed you. Your actions cursed you. And I'm about to explain how you know this. When I was married, I married a man who was previously married when I was very young. In his previous marriage, he experienced some extreme wounds that he really didn't heal from. I was very young when I got married, so I didn't realize that that was even a necessity, okay? I just happened to connect with this person, and he was very thoughtful and specific, and we had a lot of similar interests. Anyhow, his previous marriage, when I met him, he said, I have 3 kids, but only one of them is mine. I said, okay, that's odd. Me being, barely 20, it was odd to me. But he explained it, and I'm like, that's a little bit messy, so I don't know if I want to get involved with that. He's like, no, wait, hear me out. I literally only have one, and, it's kind of something so I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of a messed up situation, but, okay, so I'll, because we were, connecting or whatever. So I didn't immediately, let go after the jarring, information of that experience. But I guess what happened was one, mistake was made early on in the marriage. He didn't realize, but he kind of suspected. So he, they worked it out, which happens. The second time, he was a little bit more paranoid. So he had like this man on videotape. This woman was like video recorded this man at a church soloist and stuff. Like, okay. And had a baby with this woman in her house where her and her husband live and their children. And she was visiting, like he was there on official business, visiting the home. So ended up getting the woman pregnant, and she pretended it was her husband's again, because this man was also married. So he ended up having to get a DNA test. He knew because the man showed up at the hospital. We had to get a DNA test and all of that, and it was sad. It just is, it's not something you don't want to be true or real. You know what I mean? But it just is. It happens. And life goes on. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up staying with that person, and Wade ended up connecting with me after the 2 daughters were born by 2 different men while they were married. So they now have, like he said, 3 children during the marriage were born, but only one of them was his, sadly. And he had to make a decision to a difficult decision, because this girl does have a dad. The other girl has a dad, you know what I'm saying? And it's not easy. So, does he still see her? Yes. They still know each other's family? Yes. Everybody's still cordial, whatever. It's not the kid's fault, clearly and obviously. They're no one's enemy. But they ended up getting married, lived in that house where where her and my ex-husband used to live. They ended up staying there for a while and then moving on with their little family down to Georgia, while their oldest stayed home and graduated her senior year. So, however, the wicked stepmother was made to be the bad person, and she told her daughter, she fed her hatred, her self-hatred, onto me. She pushed all her self-hatred onto me, because pandering for sympathy is easier than accepting accountability. So she would say she's the reason we're not married. How? It don't make sense. And I firsthand know that this person, the daughter, told someone that we're related to, yeah, my siblings are such and such a year apart. I just know that, I don't know about any of that, but I just know that I have two siblings that are in between each other. You do have two siblings that are in between each other, because your mother had another child, a son, right after she had Asia, with the same man. She would come around me. That is accurate. But those two, you had two sisters born. Wow. She was with your dad, married to your dad, before I ever came into the picture. They were here on the earth. So I'm not the reason. I'm not the homewrecker that I was painted out to be. And it's not that hard to calculate for people who have the context. But when you withhold context and facts, you can make it seem as if that is feasible. For what reason? For sympathy. Why though? Why do you like to manipulate people to feel bad for you? I had such a hard childhood. My cousins had to come live with me and they ruined my life. I thought I was the reason your life was ruined. Whose fault is it? Having a hard time with that, I see. But anyhow, it is what it is. I'm not a therapist. The point of the story is, because of those issues, her new family that she lived with at home kind of glorified the looks of the two children born by the last father. And she came around me, pushing that off on me, because that's how her mother deals with things, saying all you care about is XYZ. Never was true. We never treated her any differently. I never fussed over my hair, even. I barely did my hair. Barely went to get my hair done. It would be in a ponytail 9 times out of 10. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And that those lies have cost a lot. And this person made a hate campaign to push her guilt and her inability to face her flaws on me. And y'all bought into it.